What's up, fam? It's official. I have officially moved to Ecamm for my live show. Yup, Ecamm for my live show. So all the things that you are seeing right now, I do them with Ecamm. And if you want to know how, I'm going to show you the full production setup in this video. So buckle up and let's figure out how it all works.
How it all works.
Come on.
How it all works.
Come on.
So all of my designs start right here in Canva. And yes, you have seen my StreamYard full production setup. I'm going to put a card right here to that StreamYard full production setup. But you've seen that I start in Canva. I start with a base design. What I'm not going to do in this video is take the time to actually walk step by step through the designs, but I want to show you the components that make up my full production. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is the base design that I have for Canva. When I say base, I mean this is the background that I use in the scenes that you saw a second ago. So this is the background. This is the overlay for me as the host, and I just export this as a transparent overlay. I can come in here, I can change stuff if I need to. Don't really need to. Somebody said that the font was too small, so I went through and made some tweaks. Here is the screen for myself. Kind of looks similar to the scene that I'm using right now to record this. Then here's some of the questions. Again, transparent overlays. I just type these in. Yep. And if you're wondering, like, man, that's a lot of work. It's about an hour of prep work for each show now that I have my template built. And I'm actually in the process of building a new one, but I can't show you that. So here's my first guest. Here's my second guest. Here's what it looks like with all three of us on screen. And here's what it looks like if I were to have four. So I just use this as an example. But this is my designs in Canva. And here's some basic ones. And I think I'll build a scene out with these overlays. I export these as a transparent PNG. And I actually go ahead and pull them in to Ecamm as an overlay in the overlays section. So I'll show that to you in a little bit. The other thing I want to show you is my outro. So my intro stays the same pretty much every week. I have an intro that was built out. No need to change it. I do make my edits here in WeVideo. And so you can see here different things that are on the timeline. Just going to go ahead and play that through. You can see, or maybe you could even hear some of that, but you can see it's playing there on the timeline. Flyers from my shows. I'm actually working on a new outro, but one of the things I really like about this outro is it really showcases the value that we've been able to add with the live show over, the whole period. So it kind of pauses at certain points to give emphasis to what we got going on in the coming weeks. And so there you have it. That's the whole thing. Save that, export it, download it to my computer, and it's ready to go for the live stream. So now we're going to jump into Ecamm, and we're going to look and see what things we do there. So here we are in Ecamm, and I am going to switch back to full screen of myself. There we go. So we're no longer looking at the desktop, but you can see my full screen. I have a Finder window here. I have loop back. I don't really need to have loop back up, but the main things I'm going to be working with today is my scenes and my overlays, right? So I'm going to just go ahead and toggle through some of them so you can kind of get a feel. Here's the host screen. And so that's an overlay. You can see this overlay here that when I toggle it on and off, you can see that goes away. Here's the host plus slide screen. So here is where I share This is the scene that I use to be able to show the new flyer for the month, the flyers that are upcoming. So here I'm just hiding this one, sharing this one, hiding this one, sharing this one, showcasing what's coming up, what we're doing today, and what people can expect for the entire month. So wanted to build out a scene that allows me to do this. Again, the base is still that base background. And what I do when I'm building these out, I'll create a new scene, put that background on it, and then duplicate it to save myself time. We're going to walk through that in just a second. The intro video is here. That drops us onto the first guest scene, and there it is. So only thing that you got to do is when your guests come in the system, you have to assign them to guest number 1 or guest number 2 or guest number 3 and guest number 4. And we're gonna, as I mentioned, we're gonna have to go through that. But once they're assigned, they're in the system as that indicator, and anywhere you have designed your scenes to have that guest will show up. So it does make life very simple. And in order to do that, one quick thing here is to make sure that you have interview mode on. If you don't have interview mode on, you won't have these guest placeholders to be able to design your scenes. Somebody was asking me, like, how do you design the scene when the guest is not there? Well, you got to make sure that interview mode is on. So you got to click it and make sure interview mode is on. Even if you don't have a guest, as long as interview mode is on, you'll have that person there. So this is what happens when I turn off interview mode. You see, this turns black. You want to make sure the interview mode is on. And when it is on, that it gives me that placeholder and I can design it. And once I do have a guest come in the system, I select the guest, assign them to guest 1, 2, or 3, and then they populate in the scenes. Another thing that I always do is just make sure that I go through the scenes and ensure that everything is the way that I intend it to be. So here we are back on just me on the scene here, and we're going to walk through the process of actually building out a couple of scenes. Not all of them, but just a couple of them. So here's a new blank scene. And first thing I'm going to do here is grab the background. So here's the background. We're just going to grab that, drag it over to overlays, drop it. It automatically fills the whole thing, which is great. Next thing that I want to do is duplicate the scene, right? So duplicate the scene, right? That gives me a copy of it. I'm not even going to rename it. But you should, if you're building out your scenes, you want to make sure you rename them. I'm going to actually grab a new scene here, grab my camera. So we're going to make this a camera scene, and then I'm going to do the host overlay. So this is the host overlay. I just drop it on there. Boom, it's there. So this is the host scene. Let's call it host. So that's the host scene. Let's move that up one here. Which scene is this? Okay, this is our base scene. Let's say this is host plus flyer. Okay, so this is host plus flyer. So now what we need to do is grab the overlay that's cropped. I'm going to drop that on here, and boom, look. Now we have a frame, and all I've got to do is hit this plus this camera overlay, new camera overlay. Select the video that I want. That is the video for my webcam. I'm going to select the USB camera. I'm going to change this to custom, and we're going to move this over here. Get that right in the corner there. That moved on me. The mouse sometimes will play tricks, and what I love is you can just pull it right in and make sure you're right in the right space. Let go of it. I think that's good. And then after you have it sized properly, you want to take the overlay itself, which is the camera, and drop it underneath the frame that I just put on top of the screen. So now we have this here. It's ready to go. Only thing else that I need to do is add to the screen, let's say the flyer, right? So this is one of the flyers. So I'll just add this to the screen, size it so that it fits where I want it to be. and then I lock them. I will go ahead and I click lock on all of these because I don't want to accidentally, hit my scroll wheel or something and move that thing around. That's it. One scene is down. Host plus flyer. We've got host. We've got camera only. We're cooking with gas. So here we're back at the base scene here. I am going to make another copy of the scene. And so here we're going to just do one guest, host plus guest. Okay. Find my host plus guest overlay here. Bam, there it is. I'm going to hit plus. I'm going to actually do 2 here and then just change them. So this one, I want this custom. Want this to be USB. All right. This one, I also want it to be custom. Want this to be guest 1. Guest 1. There's my video. We're doing the exact same thing. Making sure that it's there. Size it up properly. Get that there. This here like this. Get this over. And then we just grab this host plus guest overlay, drag it up to the top. We have everything we want it the way we want it. Lock our scenes and lock everything in place. Now this is set to go. I've got a host plus a guest. I've got guest 1. I've got my host plus my flyer. If I wanted to, let's see here. I'm just going to do host plus on this next scene. So here we are on this new scene. And so I'm going to grab host plus 2 guests, drop that on there. And there you see they're sized slightly differently. So now we need 3 cameras. You can hit the plus sign here. I'm going to make this guest 1 because I know that these 2 are both the same size. I'm going to make this guest 1. I'm going to make this custom. Size it the way that I want it. And then I'm going to hit the command key, and that allows me to make another copy of this. And I can just slide that into place right here because, like I said, they're the same size, so no need to create it again. They're exactly the same size. Then all I've got to do is come down here to the overlays and change this to guest 2. Then I can add the third video in, which is going to be for myself, and it's slightly different in size, which is the reason why I didn't just copy it. So change that to the proper camera, change this to custom, and here we go. Put this in the center. Well, yeah, not really center, but you get the point. We're trying to size it in here properly, and let that go. And now we just grab host plus 2 guests, which is the overlay, drive it to the top. We're ready to go. Here's one other thing that I like to do, like you've seen in my Canva design, is the questions are there. The questions come in this area here. So I will literally just come through here, highlight all 3 of these questions, drag them onto drive them onto the overlays page. Let them go. All 3 come in. Then I make sure they're in the order that I want. So this is question 1. I want question 1 on the bottom. So what I do is they're on top of one another. Each one is a layer. So if I unhide the question 1, if I unhide question 2 is above question 1. So I don't have to go back and hide question 1. So I want them in that layer so that I can easily go through. And so there I have it. I have my questions, and I can take them back off screen in the same order by doing it like that. Or you can show one question, take it off, show some comments or whatever else. But this is how this is going to look, and this is the effect that we're going for. The other things that we would need to add, as I mentioned before, obviously we've got the intro video. So here I'm going to just say intro, and we click the video button here. That's not at all what I wanted to do. We click the video. I didn't want to click the camera button. I should have clicked the video button. So I'm going to choose file, HIW, show intro. Boom. And that's going to play. Great one for outro. All right. So outro. Drag this down. Same thing. The video button, outro, bam. That's what we do for both of those, and we should be good to go, which is good. I know that there are some pieces of both of those videos where you weren't able to hear me, so let me just go over this really quickly. For the video scenes, you're gonna want to go through and change the option to either go to next scene or go to, let's say, end the broadcast. So for the outro scene, I set it to end the broadcast, and for the intro scene, I just set it to go to the next scene. So these are the scenes, and this is the whole thing. So now I've got my intro, I've got my host scene, which is the one I'm on now. I've got the next one where I've got the flyer. I can go to the next one where I've got myself with a guest. And that's guest 1. I've got the next one where I've got both guest 1 and 2, and I'm in the middle. We have all of those there now, and we are good to go. So there you have it. I run through my run sheet. Essentially, I have several things that I do throughout the show in terms of a show question, 2 questions for each guest. Generally try to keep it to 2 guests. I've got my scenes designed. I've got my questions already in there. I'm using an Elgato Stream Deck to be able to move seamlessly between the scenes, so I don't have to look away from the camera. The comments come in very nice. The design of them in Ecamm is you have full control over anything you want to do. I can put them anywhere on the screen, but I have my design of the layout. I have in the bottom section a place that I can actually put those comments, and they, you know, it's a place where not only I can see it prominently, but the guests can see it, and anybody who's watching, whether they're watching live or watching the replay, they can see those comments as well. So Ecamm really just kind of gives me a lot more flexibility, a lot more options. Yes, the learning curve is higher, but I wanted to be able to get this video out there. You now have both my full production setup for StreamYard and my full production setup for Ecamm. I would love to hear from you what you think. Honestly, some of these designs are interchangeable. You can use a lot of them in StreamYard as well. You just don't have the same level of flexibility, especially around comments and other overlays that you would in this system. But all of it is possible. It's just a matter of designing and understanding the parameters of each system, the limitations of that box. And once you know where those lines are, those boundaries are, then you know exactly what you need to do in order to get things to work. Another big thing I love about Ecamm, I can play my videos without having to down convert them, right? To degrade the quality, if you will. So a couple of different pros and cons here or there. Excited to be able to bring this to you. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. I hope that you got some value from this. Hope that you have already subscribed. But if you haven't, I'd love for you to take this journey with us. We're on a mission to get to 5,000 subscribers. I want to do that before the middle of the year. And I know that's a tall order, but we think that we can get there, especially with your help and your feedback. If you can tell us what exactly, what kind of videos you want to see that would help you get over the hurdle, right? So the whole point is for you to be able to share your message with your audience in a way that is meaningful, that takes the tech out of the way, right? We don't want the tech to be a distraction. We want it to be an enhancement. We want these platforms that have been built out for us to be a tool in your hands to be able to get across the message that you uniquely have to share. So whatever hurdles those are, if we can put out videos that will help you to get over those hurdles, let us know, and we'll gladly add them to our content schedule, and we'll hope that you will be around to benefit from them. So, and one of the ways that you can benefit from them is by not only hitting the like button, hope you did that already, but also hitting the bell so that you can be notified when we go live, when we have new content, or if we do a premiere. So, it's your boy Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher, hoping that somewhere in the video today, we got you a little closer to figuring out how it all works. We'll see you in the next video.
How it all works. how it all works. How it all